Okay guys, welcome back to Nadis Edu TV, Practical Research 2. We are now in lesson 4.4.6, which is reporting and sharing of research findings. This includes comments, suggestions, and recommendations from the evaluators. So we should remember that we are now in the performance standard. Number 3, write and present clear report. Our learning objectives or the specific objectives. After the lesson, you should be able to 1. Determine comments, suggestions, and recommendations from evaluators. Number 2. Understand the concept of finalizing written reports based from the evaluators' review and assessment. And number 3. Appreciate the importance of comments, suggestions, and recommendations from the evaluators to produce quality research study. Okay, so let's start. Let us take this sample, the title. From the front page, you may use this template. As you can see, we have here teenage pregnancy, an investigation that is imminent in select barangay, a research paper presented to the faculty of the Senior High School Department of Donsol National Comprehensive High School, Donsol, Sorsogon, Philippines. This format is an editable, so you can edit that, or you may wish to make some revisions. So we are still in the title. For the compliance report, here are the comments or the checklist for the title. The title should contain the following elements: the subject matter or research problem, the setting or locale of the study, the respondents or participants involved in the study, the time or period when the study was conducted, the neutrality of the words used. The title is brief and concise. All the words are in capital letters, and the title should not be longer than 18 substantive words. So this should include your title. Okay, so we move now to chapter 1 for the compliance report. Chapter 1, which includes the presentation of the problem or the background. Statement of the problem. Here are the checklist. Provide general statement of your research based from the objectives of the study. SOP should at least contain 4 questions as minimum, where SOP 1 should focus on the respondent's profile or independent variable, while SOP 2 should be focused on the nature of results that should be undertaken serves as a dependent variable or the treatment. SOP 3 should be the measure of the effects or relationships or association between your independent and dependent variables. And 4 could be the proposed intervention, model, essential elements, projects or programs, or solutions to address the problem. Next is the scope and delimitation. First, provide the scope of the study and limitations. Second, inclusions and exclusions from the study. What should be included and what should not be included. And the third, it can be arranged, or you should arrange the scope and the limitation based on the objectives and SOP. Next, we have significance of this study. Comment, avoid one sentence paragraph. Second, provide benefits to the following persons or group of people or institutions. Suggested, we have the teacher, school students, school administrators, barangay or the community, local government unit, Department of Education, parents, future researchers. Next, we have definition of terms. Here are the checklist. Provide a general statement on definition of terms. Provide conceptual and operational definition to the following terms. This refers to your variables at the SOP. Provided the conceptual definition, this refers to the definition taken from dictionary, researches, and journals. Provided operational definition, these definitions are based from your study or the researcher's definition, which is the measures of the variable in the study. We move now to chapter 2, review of related literature. Make sure that your related literature is a true literature. It must be aligned to your variables from the SOP. Next, provided a minimum of 15 literatures. Uh, Next, we have the literature should be current, at least 10 to 15 years back. Next, we have review of related studies. Related studies should coincide with your title to support the bearing to your research. Provide a minimum of 15 studies, and also these studies should be current 10 to 15 years back. We now move to theoretical framework. Discuss your theoretical frameworks, assigning theories. Next, explain how these theories relates to your study. Under conceptual framework, does my conceptual framework embody specific direction by which the research will have to be undertaken? You may use the input process output or IPO, or you may create your framework based from the variables. A good presentation of variables is suggested. Does my conceptual framework align from the SOP? Is the conceptual framework a reflection of the relationship between variables? Okay, let us move now to conceptual paradigm. Under chapter 2, the presentation of the pattern or a model. This should contain measurements of the variables. Under chapter 3, research design and methodology or the research method. State the appropriate methods in your research. Justify why it is necessary for your research. Explain your research methods. Include actual activities involved into the research method used. Under the sources of data, we have discussed what, where, who, and when are your sources of data to be collected. Next, state the sampling technique, the population, and the sample frame or the sample size. Under the respondents of the study, provide a table that identifies the frequencies and percentages of the respondents. It should answer the question, why are you interested to study or include them? Specify some features about your respondents. It should answer, why did you choose them? Under research instruments, from where are you going to collect your data? Is the instrument appropriate for the research problems? Explain what composes your instruments. It should include parts, the sequence, the ordering, or the procedures. Now, on data gathering and procedure, we have preliminary step and the preparation and conduct of the data gathering. Under the preliminary step, you need to discuss the step-by-step procedure. On preparation and conduct of the data gathering, discusses how it is prepared and utilized, and you must explain the manner of data gathering procedure. So it should include the reliability and validity tests procedures. On the analysis of data gathering, explain in detail how are you going to analyze and interpret the data collected. Is the analysis of data aligned to your SOP? We move now to statistical treatment. Explain the statistical tool to be used in the analysis of your data. Example, we have frequency count, the ranking, the percentage, the z-test, chi-square test, t-test, correlation, etc. Provide formula for the statistical tool and scale using Likert. And a statistical tool should provide answer or solution to the SOP questions of the study. Let's go to the next chapter, which is chapter 4, presentation. In this part, this should contain the presentation of results from the data collected or gathered using the instrument, the surveys, and interviews. Use tables, maps, and graphs for visual representation of data. Omit or remove zero data. Next, it should contain summary, implications, and related studies that supported researchers' claim. And last, the presentation should be aligned from the SOP. Under Chapter 5, findings should be summarized by using the highest data analyzed. Conclusion should be the result of findings, so you need not to repeat the findings, just make judgment on the results or the findings of the study. The conclusion showed the end or finish of an event or processes. Recommendation should be a form of suggestions, policy, programs, or activities that may help the recipient of your research. These are the people significantly will receive the benefits. So it can be located on the significance of the study. Revise conclusions and recommendations from the statement above. For the appendices or the attachment on your research, we have the letters, we have instrument survey questionnaire, experiments if you have, computations, curriculum vitae, the power copy of the PowerPoint presentation, the certifications from editor, from your advisor, from the statisticians. Next, we have the figures, tables, or the raw datas, and then pictures before, during, and after the defense or the data collection, and the sample survey. You can provide at least 10 copies as samples and tables. So your reference is good if the workbook contains the references used in the study with proper citation, if utilized APA style of referencing. Let's take this example, the author's name, first name, letter, year of publication, title of the manuscript, published by, pages, and the link. Example, the Zulu R and Joe R, 2016. Title, profile and performance level of the ANA test passers in the province of Sorsogon, International Research Journal, pages 17 to 23, www.ijr.edu.com. For the last topic, which is the abstract, here are the most common comment suggestions. This part should contain not more than 250 words, summary of the entire research study, or a brief summary of the overall research, how it was done, statistical techniques employed, key results, and relevant implications or recommendations with keywords used in the study, proposed output of the research. For the final say, this compliance report will determine the correctness and alignment of the manuscript or workbook presented to the panel as regards to comments, suggestions, and recommendations provided by the members of the evaluators during the research final defense or your final oral examination, and for the workbook final approval. Here is now your assessment task for the group activity, task 4.4.6, the compliance report. Instructions: to assess the correctness and alignment of your manuscript for this lesson, your task is uploaded to the link provided below. Use it to navigate your task and answer the needed information and questions. So the web link is listed below. The title for the task is Compliance Report, Task 4.4.6, Finalizing Research Manuscript, Quantitative Research. Okay, guys, that ends our lesson for today, and the references are here for your further readings. Please do not forget to like, share, subscribe, click the notification bell, add comments on this video. Thank you very much. And for further information, the author is already here
the name, the address, and the purpose of this material. Thank you very much.